Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Tales from the TARDIS Podcast. Today is going to be my commentary of Doctor Who Series 10, Episode 5, Oxygen. So without further ado, let's get started. I've got my copy of Oxygen loaded up on BBC iPlayer and we play in 3, 2, 1, go. Love that they start off with that line. And just turns a little bit worse. It's a lovely looking space station. I think the suits are really cool. Especially the visuals from inside the spaceship looking out. I just think they look really cool. And now they're going to try and make me care for these characters who I already realise are probably about to get killed off. At this point, I thought it was more likely they were just going to die from lack of oxygen. Didn't realise what was coming for them. And here it comes. Yeah. And of course, conveniently, he can't hear it. And then he sees the helmet. Now he's let them in, hasn't he? Of course he has. Lovely little cold open there, bringing us into the start of the episode. And now I cannot wait. It's back what it used to be, where they would, you don't even see the Doctor or his companions until after the credits. And I was really looking forward to seeing how Matt Lucas would be in a, longer role in this episode. Written by Jamie Matheson, of course. This is fourth episode he's had writing duties for. And just get another sense of how many people attend the Doctor's lectures. You can really see the Doctor is really going fast here. Yeah, don't expect the Doctor to tell the truth, would you? No, my darling. Is it? Reviews. How very modern, Bill. Like that one. Do you? Oh no, not that theme tune. Distress call. Because obviously, the Doctor goes wherever there is trouble, doesn't he? Fluid link. I will go on about my love of fluid links possibly in my review, but obviously fluid links not even been mentioned since the first Doctor's time, unless you listen to Radio Free Skaro, which is another terrific podcast, far better than this one, well, far more experienced at least. So either the Doctors changed the TARDIS so they don't require every fluid link, or the Doctor was just lying all along about them. If you want to see more fluid links, go and watch the second ever story in Doctor Who, which was the Daleks. Space, proper space, space station. When they pulled back, I think this shot was in the trailer. That shot of the space station just looks absolutely amazing. There's someone in there, but he doesn't look too alive. Yeah. I see Bill's issue. I also wish they'd just agreed with Nardole and gone back in the TARDIS. Of course, then we wouldn't have had this magnificent episode, but you know, what you gonna do? Four. Yeah. It's the first time Bill's seen someone in real distress from the moment she sat down there. Obviously, changing her opinions. And of course, the Doctor wants to go and investigate. It's very interesting how the 12th Doctor uses his new sonic screwdriver. You know, the way he'll scan and hold it, very different to how the previous Doctors would sort of almost, that the thing was they would, make jokes about how they'd wave it around like a magic wand, especially Matt Smith. Though I did always enjoy that. But and normally only companions' mothers. But, and here we start to see how the big villain of this episode, corporate. Yay. Corporate and zombies. Of course, corporate zombies, that would have been interesting. And then they're going to be cut off from the TARDIS because that is, of course, the Dexter phase of a good base under siege Doctor Who story, whether it's on land, water, in space, wherever it happens to be. First thing you do is you cut the Doctor off from the TARDIS. Force him to stay and help. It's only natural. Very good, Nardo. Okay. Oh, I liked that sonic screwdriver. I really hope he gets another one. Otherwise, I hope he gets another one that looks the same, because otherwise that's a real marketing ploy if they're going to bring out, a second 12th Doctor sonic, or really a third 12th Doctor sonic screwdriver, because he did start off using Matt Smith's old green one. I was quite liking this, the new blue one. I've had mixed feelings about the sonic sunglasses, but I'm sure I'll make those known at some point. But essentially it was that when, in small doses they were alright, but when they were being used, almost more than the sonic screwdriver, it was starting to be people didn't like the sonic screwdriver because the Doctor would just use it to get out of anything. But now, when he was using the sonic sunglasses to do it, that was when I sort of had that effect. So lucky guess, or a bit of a hope from the Doctor. But of course it was going to happen. It may sound like I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode. No, I was. I just think the plot of this may be lacking in some areas. Nothing against Jeremy Matheson, although I do feel that I am very hit and miss on his episodes. I mean, he wrote Mummy on the Orient Express, which I absolutely loved. He wrote Flatline, which I was in the minority that I didn't think it was this amazing episode. And then, of course, he wrote, with Stephen Moffat, he wrote The Girl Who Died, which I thought was a very good story. So, with some people, I don't always laugh at every episode, but good advice there from Nada. I'll just keep reading. It's better move quickly. I wonder if that's a deliberate Scooby-Doo reference or just coincidence, because I really can't think of anyone else called Velma. Maybe Jamie Matheson's a Scooby-Doo fan. And they're safe for now. He's very blue, isn't he? I do love that. We just had a couple of episodes ago Thin Ice where Bill was worried about racism, and now she's been called it. Dachrin. I do absolutely love that. And another little use of the psychic paper there. I do really love how it's being used. Yeah, time and space. funny. And the doctor. I was waiting for a big, long speech that, when that line's come up before, we put you in charge. The doctor just goes off on this big, long rant on the doctor and however old he is at that point. I'm going to save your lives and everyone else's. Of course not. Cheers, mate. Very interesting measuring it in average breaths. I think it does make it quite cool, really. It's interesting, I wonder, because Nardol's essentially a robot at this point. Does he need oxygen? Or is the head of him still a, technically organic component because it was still the head of his original body, but Doctor put him back together as a robot and I'm assuming that means his head was, still organic, and therefore that is how, or why rather, he still needs the oxygen. Roll credits. Problem solving, eh? Right, getting through that door. They're coming. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. Again, they're all rushing, they're probably breathing far more than 40. And they're here as well. Oh, and he's gone. I mean, geez, they could have called him Hal, even. Quite like the helmets. And the way they sort of, pull it out of your pocket and snaps in. Good to see another sort of side to Bill in this episode. Very nervous and this base under siege. Still very new, and it really comes through. Not really been anything as difficult as life-threatening. And of course, the most nervous person is Bill. See, this is where I would have thought Nardo is mostly a robot. He would probably be most likely to survive without his helmet. And she's safe for now. How convenient. Although, given that they did just take one of the original survivors, you would have thought by now it would be part of their mapping system. It's funny because my sat-nav didn't recognise a new road recently. Well, a roundabout that disappeared. Section 12A. I can still hear. Correct. Using humour and hugging, you know. Clara got him okay with that. And I think this is the first instance of the Doctor going blind. Obviously, we've had a couple of companions back. Fourth Doctor time, Sarah Jane went blind in Brain of Morbius. Yeah, Brain of Morbius. Oh, no, yeah. Really didn't care too much for the side characters in this. Yeah, but it normally works. He's the Doctor. He's from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castorpus. And he will do anything in your power to save your lives. Exactly. Dachren. He was the only side character I really cared for. And they killed him. Actually, to be fair, I almost cared for the two characters in the cold open. Okay. How convenient that. Health and safety. How convenient that out of the three of them it was Bill who was the most nervous anyway, who got the suit, although that makes it a more exciting episodes view. And I prefer to look at it from that I feel like that's a joke because he's blind. But it doesn't tell her a joke. It does make me think the Doctor doesn't know if she's going to survive. Oh, here we go, and there goes Bill. Good to see Bill being resourceful, even if she is basically a zombie at this point. It's 5 more minutes than if you don't do anything. Jeez. Well, that does help him. I was waiting for him to go reset button. But no. It's far more than revenge. It's the Doctor, even blind, having just potentially lost his companion, he's still thinking. You really get the sense here on this viewing that the Doctor really does do it all to save the day. It's quite excellent, really. I did. That's one way to sack everyone. Oh dear. Capitalism. Who knew, hey? Who knew? Then the Doctor's really fired up in this closing, so much into action. You can tell it's been going on in his head. And then you really see the Doctor's plan and this ending. And of course, Bill's the first one through the door. What's Bill? And the Doctor always finds the right word just in time to save himself. How nice. Yes, I almost forgot he was from the opening. It's a very nice episode in the end, really. What another? No one has faith in the Doctor's methods. Alright, you are. And off. There you go. Yo. Yay. Of course they do. Really is being the voice of reason. Maybe they are sincere. And what a great cliffhanger there to take us through into the next episode. I really enjoyed that episode. I will be recording my review of it after. And yeah, it just cliffhanger pulls you in, makes you really ready before we of course see the very interesting next time trailer. Really do spoil it a bit, but how's he going to save himself? The Pope. The book he gave the river as a diary. We did get his Sonic back. And just show Missy, because you already spoiled that John Master was going to be in this series, so why not spoil Missy's going to be in next week's episodes? BBC really seem to be conscious that these spoilers would be leaked, and that's why they've been sort of putting them in at the end of their trailers. But I really think that you should just trust and hope that fans don't spoil it, because there had not been any talk about John Sim apart from when it was put in that trailer. Of course, we knew Missy was back at some point in the series, but I, at least for one, didn't know she was going to be in next week's episode, and of course now she will be. And I cannot wait for that. I think the Doctor being blind in an episode is just going to be really interesting, and I can't wait to see how they handle that. And of course, we've got, the Pope, because why not? But yes, so that was my commentary of Doctor Who Series 10, Episode 5, Oxygen. You will hear me next in my review of this episode, which will be out at some point after this episode is out. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. You can find me on Twitter at Tales_TARDIS and via email at talesfromthetardis@gmail.com. I will see you next for my review of this episode, and then next week with my commentary and review of next week's episodes. Until then, I've been Scott Summers, and this has been Tales from the TARDIS Podcast.